For millennia, humanity has gazed at the stars and pondered the ultimate questions. What happens after we die? Are there different destinies? Is there an ultimate reward or an eternal consequence? The Bible, often seen as a sacred map to eternity, reveals a detailed, progressive timeline of the afterlife. This isn't just about heaven or hell. It's about distinct realms, judgments, and eternal states. Prepare to explore every level of heaven and hell on a timeline. Unveiling Your Eternal Destiny. Every level of heaven and hell on a timeline. Unveiling Your Eternal Destiny. The human heart yearns to know what lies beyond the veil of death. Is there an afterlife? If so, what does it entail? The Bible, unique among sacred texts for its extensive and progressive revelation, offers profound insights into humanity's eternal destiny. While it doesn't describe levels of heaven and hell in the multi-tiered literal sense often depicted in popular culture, it does reveal distinct realm states of being and phases of judgment for the departed, meticulously unfolding across its historical and prophetic timeline. Understanding this divine blueprint provides clarity, comfort, and a sober warning, shaping our lives in the present. This exploration is a journey through biblical cosmology and eschatology, revealing how God progressively unveiled the ultimate destinations for humanity based on their relationship with Him. It provides a comprehensive overview of the eternal timeline, from ancient concepts to the final, permanent states revealed in prophecy. Important clarification. Levels as realms and states. When we refer to levels of heaven and hell, it's crucial to understand this metaphorically. The Bible primarily describes distinct realms or states of being that departed souls experience, and a progression of judgments leading to eternal destinies. It does, however, hint at varying degrees of reward in heaven and punishment in hell. Part 1. Early concepts before Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. Humanity's understanding of the afterlife was more generalized, though a fundamental belief in a realm of the dead existed. 1. Sheol, the common grave description. In the Old Testament, Sheol is the general realm of the dead, a shadowy, silent place of darkness and dust, where both the righteous and the wicked eventually go. It's a state of existence separate from the living, rather than a place of immediate reward or punishment. Timeline, the common destiny for all departed souls before the coming of the Messiah. 2. Gehenna, the Valley of Judgment description. Originally, the Valley of Hinnom outside Jerusalem, where child sacrifices were offered to pagan gods and later became a perpetually burning garbage dump. Jesus adopted this physical location as a powerful metaphor for eternal, fiery punishment and judgment for the wicked. Timeline, metaphorically, points to a future, severe judgment. 3. Tartarus, imprisonment for angels description. Mentioned once in the New Testament, Tartarus is a place of gloomy darkness used specifically for the imprisonment of rebellious fallen angels who sinned. It is not a place for humans. Timeline, a specific ancient and ongoing angelic prison. Part 2. The cross and resurrection. Jesus' life, death, and resurrection fundamentally transformed humanity's understanding of the afterlife, revealing distinct divisions within Sheol Hades. 1. Abraham's bosom, paradise, a place of comfort. Description. In Jesus' parable of Lazarus and the rich man, Sheol is depicted as having two compartments, Abraham's bosom and a place of torment for the wicked, separated by an impassable gulf. Jesus later tells the repentant thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise." This paradise is generally believed to be Abraham's bosom, now confirmed by Christ. Timeline, the temporary resting place of the righteous dead before Jesus' resurrection and ascension. 2. Hades, the realm of the dead description. The New Testament Greek equivalent of Sheol, often referring to the general realm of the dead. After Christ's resurrection, it increasingly implies a place of conscious suffering for the wicked awaiting final judgment. Timeline, the intermediate state for the wicked after death. 3. Jesus' descent. Description. After his death, Jesus descended to the lower earthly regions, or proclaimed victory to imprisoned spirits. Interpretations vary. Some believe he proclaimed victory to fallen angels, others that he released the righteous Old Testament saints from Abraham's bosom and led them to heaven. Timeline. A pivotal event between his death and resurrection, changing the destiny of the righteous dead. 4. Heaven. With Jesus' ascension, heaven became the immediate destination for believers. Part 3. The intermediate state following Christ's victory. The intermediate state for departed human souls is clearly differentiated. 1. Heaven. Description. For those who die in Christ, their spirits immediately go to be away from the body and at home with the Lord. This is a place of conscious bliss, peace, and fellowship with Christ, awaiting bodily resurrection. Timeline. From death until the first resurrection. 2. Hades. Torment. Description. For those who die without Christ, they enter a place of conscious suffering and separation from God, awaiting the final judgment and eternal condemnation. Timeline. From death until the second resurrection. Part 4. The return of Christ and the resurrections. The ultimate fulfillment of God's plan involves the bodily resurrection of the dead and final judgments. 1. The first resurrection. Description. At the return of Christ, all believers who have died will be resurrected with glorified, immortal bodies. Living believers will also be transformed and ascend to meet Christ. Timeline. At the return of Christ, prior to or concurrent with the millennial reign. 2. The millennial reign. Description. After the first resurrection, Christ will reign on earth for 1,000 years with his resurrected saints. Timeline. Following Christ's return, preceding the final judgment. 3. The second resurrection. Description. At the end of the millennium, all who did not believe in Christ will be resurrected, their bodies reunited with their spirits, to stand before the great white throne judgment. Timeline. After the millennium. Part 5. The final judgments and eternal states. The timeline culminates in ultimate, eternal destinies, sealed by divine judgment. 1. The Bema Seat Judgment. Description. This is not a judgment for salvation, but a judgment for rewards based on the deeds done by believers in the body. Rewards are given for faithful service. Timeline. After the first resurrection in heaven. 2. The Great White Throne Judgment. Description. The final judgment for all the unsaved dead. They are judged according to their deeds, and anyone whose name is not found in the book of life is cast into the lake of fire. Timeline. After the second resurrection, before the new heavens and new earth. 3. The lake of fire. Eternal hell description. The ultimate, eternal, final state of conscious punishment, complete separation from God, and torment for the unsaved, Satan, fallen angels, and the Antichrist. This is the ultimate hell. Timeline. The final, eternal state. 4. New heavens and new earth. Eternal heaven description. The eternal dwelling place of God and his redeemed people. God dwells with humanity. There will be no more sorrow, pain, death, or sin. Heaven comes down to earth in a renewed creation. This is the ultimate, eternal heaven. Timeline. The final, eternal state. Degrees of reward and punishment, while the Bible doesn't specify literal levels. Like rooms in a building, it does imply degrees of reward in heaven. This suggests that while the state is fixed, the experience within that state may vary. Conclusion. Your eternal destiny on a timeline. The Bible provides a progressively revealed, clear, and comprehensive timeline of humanity's eternal destiny. From the shadowy Sheol of the Old Testament to the glorious new heavens and new earth, and from the torment of Hades to the final lake of fire, God has laid out a precise path for all souls. The ultimate destination on this eternal timeline depends entirely on one's response to Jesus Christ. For those who believe and accept his gift of salvation, an eternity of joy and fellowship with God awaits. For those who reject him, a terrifying, eternal separation. The choice made in this life determines one's eternal level or state.